Okay, let's continue. Be'ez Hashem, Perek Ches. That's where we are holding B'siyata D'Shmaya. So, yesterday, when we did Perek Zayin, we learned Be'ikr about the two Mahalchim. The two Mahalchim for Emes Tshuva, which is very, very important to understand what those two are, to contemplate the Gadlus and the Rabboni Shalom and the Golas that you put him through, and also to realize the Pagam that happens, the Mechitza that's put up. We spoke about that by Riches and Perek Zayin. We're now going to focus specifically on the result, which is very, very important. Okay? V'hinei, Perek Ches, Igeres HaTeshuva. V'hinei, Achrei HaMokas Hadas B'chol Hanal. Meaning, once we've contemplated about what we spoke about in Perek Zayin, Yuchal Levakesh Be'emes Me'umke Deliba, now we have the ability to ask, to request with truthfulness from the depths of our heart, Kuroiv Rachamecha Mechei Pshai V'cholei. That means we ask the Rabbeinu Shalom with so much rachmanis that he has to give us a slicha v'kapara. Ki azai tikove beliboy be'emes goydel rachmanis al b'chinas elikus shebenafshoy v'shelamala kanal. Because once we're konveya in our hearts what the emes is of what happens when we do an aveira, then we understand what the result is. Ubazeh yoyre rachamim, ha'elyonim yud gimel midas ha'rachamim, anim shachos meirotzain ha'elyon baruch hu, anirmos bekoitzes shal yud, that means we arouse the rachamim from the Yud Gimel Midas. The Yud Gimel Midas we spoke about a few times, specifically Motzei Shabbos we spoke a little bit about it. That the Yud Gimel Midas is what the Gemara tells us in Rosh Hashanah Yud Zayin. That is what brings down the rachamim. That brings down the rachmanis. It's ma'oyer the rachamim in Shemayim, which, as the Tanya is telling us, is merumas from the Koitzer Shal Yud, which is even higher and higher than the Shem Havaya. Therefore, Hayud Gimel Midas Harachmim Menakim Kol Hapgamim. That means when we want to be cleansed from the blemishes that the Aveira that we did puts upon us, the way to cleanse ourselves is through the reciting of the Yud Gimel Midas, because that's what causes us to, that cleanses us from the blemishes that were caused by the Aveira. Ukemoishikasa, like it says, so not only, right, is it actually causing forgiveness to your Gimel Midas, but it actually causes a type of cleansing, which is what we need. V'nakeh is to clean. Lashon menakeh. V'shuv ein yinika lachitzonim v'asitra achwa mashpas heitator kanal, and no longer can the outside, the chitzonim, the sitra acha, have any hashba from the heitator. Or was that toshav heitator l'mekoma l'isyacha b'yud K Vav V'dai Mavin, which means we through that we can perform that which we've spoken about a few times, which is tshuva, lashon of toshav hay, to return the hay. The chain mamish lamata b'nefesh lekish ba'odam. So too down over here, in the nefesh lekis of a person, shuv ein avnasei mavdilim. That means don't think that once you've done tshuva, okay, so the Rabbeinu Shalom sort of, he forgave me. But it's much more than that. Actually, what happens is the aveiros that you did that separated you from Hashem, after doing an emes tshuva, there's no separation. You're right there anymore. You're now connected again. It cleanses for those that do tshuva. Lirchoitz, to wash. Ulanakois nafsho melavushim atzoyim. Heim achitzoyim v'sitra acha k'moshe gosu b'gemara melaftoi v'chulei. Umayach hashuach v'tareim. After the Maisa, everything is passed and a person's become Torah, become pure, as a tuchel nafshon loshav ad ha vaya baruchu mamish v'lalois malo l'mkoyre l'dovke b'yisma b'yechonifla. That means you have to go through the process of tshuva. You can't expect to have that closeness, that connection to the Rabbeinu Shalom, if you didn't actually go through first the process of tshuva. Because the real process of tshuva, which again he said clearly was in the previous Perek Zayin, that seemed to be the knack Perek that we have to learn again and again. But once I've done that, I'm cleansed with the Yud Gimel Midas. I can now get that connection again, and I'm dovuk to Rabbeinu Shalom, which of course is the actual goal of everything. That means it was almost like, let's continue. Meaning, if I'm about to blow a balloon, the air right now is inside me. Okay? When I blow the balloon, the air has gone out of me. But before I blow the balloon, it's inside me. So he's saying, Tanya, when I've done a real proper tshuva, and I've gone through the process of what tshuva is, and I've contemplated it and done it properly, and I've said the Yugim Umidas, it leaves me back into the situation of Kamoi Kaviyochel, the breath was inside the Rabban Shalom before he blew on the Shomer inside. It goes back to that closeness. Right now, the Rabban Shalom blew the neshama into us, it's in us. But before that, it was by the Rabban Shalom. By doing tshuva, we bring ourselves back to that metzias of kilu, that, again, kaviyochel, that the breath was by the Rabban Shalom. Okay? And that's what we're saying over here. So we got over here like this, before we just finish off. Tshuva tato means it gets you back to the level that you were on before the Aveira. Okay? Tshuva ilah, upper tshuva, is to return and bring you back to the place where your neshama was before the Rabban Shalom even put it inside you. Okay, it's a much higher madrega. Tshuva tato, tshuva ilah. V'hine, bechinas yichud zeh tshuva hizi bechinas tshuva ilah. That's what he's saying. This, what we're discussing now, is the much higher madrega of tshuva ilah. Shela'acha tshuva tato, which only obviously has to come after the low madrega, which is tshuva tato. K'mosh kosav b'zeh kodesh b'rayim hemnia parshas nosai. The tshuva ilah hi this asek ba'oyraisa b'tchilu urechimu tekutsha brichu. Zok the Zoya Kodesh, Parshas Nosai. That Tshuva Ilah means it's not just about doing mitzvahs, but it's about learning the Rabbeinu Shalom's Torah with ava, with love. That's what it is. As I state in Zoya Kodesh, if you want to do the highest madrega of Tshuva Ilah, that's what you need to do. When you sit and learn Torah, you're being oisik and doing something that's called Tshuva Ilah, which gets you back to the stage before the breath even Kaviyachol came out. The Rabbeinu Shalom, v'cholet iu ben Yudke Bina, v'cholet umalet b'alei Tshuva shalzikin grum b'zei k'mosh kosav b'zei kodesh parshas chayisoy dili moshkalei b'rusa deliber yatem b'chila sagdis kol malkot v'cholet. Basically, we're trying to merge Tshuva Tato to Tshuva Ilah. You've got to start with the lower madrega. That's what we had in Perek Ches, and Perek Zayin. Over here is telling us that once I've engaged and I've completed the process of Tshuva Tato, I can now get to Tshuva Ilah, which is a much higher madrega, and he brings the Zohar Kodesh that tells us that the way to do that, Tshuva Ilah, is by learning the Torah of the Rabbeinu Shalom with ava. Very, very important. Right, with this awe and the love of the Rabbeinu Shalom. When we do that, then we're Zochah Be'ez Hashem the Tshuva Ilah b'siyata d'shmaya. Tomorrow we will be doing Perek Tes. Thank you for joining us.